Of the Board of Adjustment for November 22nd, 2016. Everyone should have got a packet. Mr. Condon is not here at this meeting. First thing on our agenda is the approval of the agenda for the November 22nd meeting. Could I get any motion to approve?
I move to approve the agenda for November 22nd.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next on our agenda is approval of the October 25th, 2016 minutes. If everyone had a chance to read them, I'll take a motion to approve those.
I move to approve the October 25th minutes with no corrections.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the third item on our agenda is decision items. We have 4 of them this afternoon. The first one is a request by Campbell Supply for a sign variance to allow for the replacement of an existing 12-foot by 48-foot 3mm polymetal sign with a new 12-foot by 48-foot 3mm polymetal sign located at 325 West 11th Street in Waterloo. Could we have a staff report?
The applicant is proposing to replace an existing 12 by 48 3mm polymetal sign with the new 12 by 48 3mm polymetal sign. Basically, this is just to ask for to replace the existing sign that's been there. It would not appear that the proposed sign would have a negative impact upon the surrounding commercial and highway corridor. The existing 12 by 48 sign has been at the 325 West 11th Street location since 1988. The regulations for the Highway 218 corridor district, which was created in 1990, limited the size of wall signs to no more than 10% of the total wall area. The total wall area is 16 by 140, which equates to the size of the wall is 2,240 square feet times 10%. 10% is 224 square feet. The proposed sign is 576 square feet and covers approximately 25.7% of the wall area. The purpose and intent of the Highway 218 corridor district is to regulate the development within the corridor in order to support the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Waterloo. The current and proposed sign does not meet the Highway 218 corridor requirements or the requirements for the C2 district. However, the proposed sign is being replaced as the existing is the same size. The sign is flat and attached to the wall. There are no other walls or buildings of the same setback near the site. The closest site is a vacant lot owned by Campbell Supply Company, at which they demolished a dilapidated home in partnership with the City of Waterloo. The sign request is going before the County Board of Adjustment today. Enclosed in the packet was original City of Waterloo building permit that was filed and approved in July 27th of 1988. The sign at its current size and location has been there for 28 years. The sign regulations at the time allowed the sign because current regulations would not allow for the replacement of the sign due to its size, and this is why a variance is being requested. Therefore, staff recommends that the request to allow for the replacement of the proposed 12 by 48 3mm polymetal sign at the Campbell Supply Company's building located at 325 West 11th be approved for the following reasons. The sign has been in existence at its present location since 1988. The request would not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area or corridor. The sign is for the display of Campbell Supply and their merchandise and services, which would appear to be beneficial toward their continued growth and development in the City of Waterloo. Basically, for the sign, it's already been approved by the 218 Highway Corridor, and basically just looking for approval from Board of Adjustment to replace the sign.
Okay. Does anyone on the board have a question of staff?
I do. I think you said, and what's not in our minutes is, or our agenda, excuse me, is that the Highway 218 did approve it?
Yes, they did approve it.
Okay, so that's what you meant in here, not
Yes.
the board? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak for or against this request? Second time, seeing no one, I would look for a motion for the sign variance by Campbell Supply.
I'll motion to approve for the replacement of the proposed 12 by 48 3mm polymetal sign at the Campbell Supply Company's building located at 325 West 11th Street in Waterloo. For the following reasons: the sign has been in existence at its present location and size since 1988 and does not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area corridor, and it appears to have be beneficial towards the continued growth of this development area in the city of Waterloo, and approval was received by the Highway 218 corridor for the variance to the sign.
Okay, we have a motion to approve,
I'll second.
and we have a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye, and this is to approve the variance.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, it is approved. So I take it the sign, since the pictures show that the sign's up.
Oh, yeah, the original sign is up, and they're just waiting to
Put up to that one. Okay.
replace it.
Our next request is by Dorothy Spates to have a 6-foot privacy fence in the front yard located at 520 Elm Street. Do we have a staff report?
Yeah, it's Dorothy Spades, 520 Elm Street, is requesting a variance to exceed the maximum height of 4 feet for a fence in the required front yard associated with the single-family dwelling. The applicant is requesting to have a 6-foot tall by approximately 20-foot wide fence in the front yard of the residence located at 520 Elm Street. The property is located along the east side of the 500 block of Elm Street between Franklin Street and Fowler Street. The property in question, as well as all the other surrounding properties, are zoned R3, multi-residence district, and have been zoned as such since the adoption of the zoning ordinance in 1969. The request would appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area and overall character of the neighborhood due to the fact that the majority of surrounding properties on Elm Street do not have fences in their front yards, or those with houses that do have fences are 4 feet or below, as required by the zoning ordinance. The request would appear to have any negative impact on the traffic in the area. The proposed request would be in conformance with the classification of this area as residential on the future land use map within the City of Waterloo Comprehensive Plan adopted February 3rd, 2003. However, allowing a 6-foot fence in the required front yard would not appear to be compatible with the surrounding residential area. Sections of the zoning ordinance that pertain to the request are in Chapter 5, see Fences 1 to a residential use, or in the R District, 10.5.1 General Regulations. The applicant is requesting to construct a fence that is 6 feet in height and approximately 20 feet in width. The zoning ordinance limits the height of fences in the front yard to 4 feet in height. The fence in question was inadvertently approved by myself with the City of Waterloo Planning Department on 9/20/2016 to build a fence that is 6 feet in height and built in front of the front yard of the principal structure residence at 520 Elm Street. The non-conforming 6-foot fence was discovered by a building inspector for the City of Waterloo. And then I later suggested to Dorothy Spates to basically to apply for a variance to the Board of Adjustment to allow for the fence to remain in the front yard. It was later concluded by planning staff that the chapter regulating fences was put in place to promote the health, safety, morals, and other convenience, prosperity, and general welfare to conserve and protect the most appropriate use of land in the City of Waterloo. All fences in the front yard of properties are limited to 4 feet in height in order to prevent the obstruction of views from neighboring residential properties and ensure safety for pedestrians and other passerbys. There's a lack of reasonable turn. There would not appear to be a lack of reasonable turn to the request. The applicant has the ability to construct a 4-foot fence in the front yard of the property to be in conformance with the zoning ordinance. Uniqueness, there would not appear to be uniqueness to the request as the topography of the area is level and not sloped. In addition, the majority of the front yards in the area do not have fences in their front yards as well. Public considerations. Approval of the variance could have a negative impact on the area, as it would set a precedence for other properties within the nearby area to have fences that are higher than 4 feet high in their front yard. Approval of this request would also potentially impact the open feel of residential neighborhoods within the city of Waterloo. Therefore, staff recommends that the variance to allow a 6-foot fence in the required front yard, 2 feet taller than the maximum allowed, be denied for the following reasons. The request could have a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood, as most of the homes in the area do not have fences in their front yards, nor fences in the front yard that are taller than 4 feet in height. There would not appear to be any valid uniqueness associated with this particular variance request, and the applicant would appear to have other options, such as building a 4-foot high fence that would meet the 4 feet high maximum yard requirement allowed in the residential districts.
Okay, does anyone have questions of staff?
How are you defining front yard? Is it just the front fence?
Yeah, and basically anything that's in front of the
house?
The house is
Okay.
considered the
So
front
it's
yard.
not anything along the side, just the front?
Yep.
So when you say that, all you're talking about is the newer wood that's up here behind what looks like the cinder blocks?
Yeah.
That is correct.
And would it be 4 foot on the wood or 4 foot total with the cinder blocks?
Like from the sidewalk?
From the side.
Sidewalk?
So the cinder blocks are included in that height? right?
It looks like the wood's behind that on the second picture.
It looks like wood?
The wood goes down to the ground.
Oh,
But this
okay.
was installed, I have a question for staff. This was installed after P&Z approved it?
Oh, no, planning and zoning didn't approve it. I accidentally approved it at the counter.
And then it was put up?
Yes, that was,
Uh-oh.
I made the mistake.
Otherwise, normally it would have come before us
Yep.
anyways.
Yeah, beforehand.
Okay.
Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak for or against this request for a variance? Seeing,
You saying that you take my fence down? You saying?
well, would you come to the podium and give us your name and address, and then your comments?
Yeah, my name is Dorothy Space, and I live at 5 Cornell Street. But what I'm saying is, you saying I got to take my fence down? You know I got to permit to put it up? Is that what y'all saying?
Well, we haven't made any decision yet. It won't, the board will have to have a vote on it, but the ordinance says that no fence in the front yard should be over 4 feet. And that's what we're here to discuss.
Yeah, but basically I put my fence there because, as you know, my house been getting a lot of shut up on, and I do child care. And I figured I put a fence up there when the kids be in the yard, nobody not gonna see them, come by and shoot at them. So basically, that was just for my own protection and my family. So I didn't see with no fault in it. I didn't see because I did get a permit, and I did tell them that I put in what kind of fence I would put it up. So I don't see why I have to pay for their mistake. You made a mistake. You gave me the permit. I told you exactly what kind of fence I was gonna put up and where I was gonna put it at. So I don't see why y'all have a question about the fence. Because that's for my protection.
You say you have a daycare there? An
Child care
operating
provider.
daycare? Okay.
And
And the kids be out in the front yard playing
how big
around.
an imposition would it be if we voted, you can have the fence, but you would have to lower it 2 feet? Because even that is probably taller than the wood. Is it from the top of the wood to the sidewalk 6 foot?
Yeah,
The sidewalk panel.
we don't touch the
A
sidewalk.
wood panel is 6 foot, or is it?
It's a 6 foot fence, but it's not on the sidewalk.
It's not on the ground, it's like on the,
It's on those
it's on the
cement
soil,
blocks.
yes.
Yeah.
You can't tell because the grease.
But the ordinance would read even at a 4 foot, that it would be from the sidewalk to the top of the wooden fence,
So you want it
no
down
matter
farther
what. It would,
by the sidewalk?
well, I mean, that wouldn't be our
Right.
job. That would be building and the building department or whoever has the authority. But we're here just to decide 6 foot or 4 foot. But if these wood panels are 6 foot tall, then it's darn near an 8 foot fence in the front yard, because you've got at least, cinder block is about 8 inches, so you'd have about 2 foot of cinder block plus the.
Yeah, but my point is, I see a lot of houses in back of me got the same fence up. Nobody complain about them. I see the house on the west side got the same fence up, maybe taller than mine. Nobody complain about them. But I just think it's just another way of harassing space family. We talk about my fence. That's all that is. Harassment.
Yeah, we're not.
Ms. Spates, our ordinance, the city ordinance says that it can be high as 4 foot. So we are a volunteer board that will look at variances to that ordinance, and that's what we're discussing. So it has nothing to do with the Spates family, it's just what the law is for our city.
For anyone that would put up a fence. And we've had other requests that want taller fences than 4 foot.
So you have had this problem before, you saying?
Pardon?
You have had this problem before, you saying?
We've
have had this problem,
requests
somebody
that-
put the fence
that
up, they had to take the
people,
fence.
well, I don't know that they put the fence up prior to us voting on it or not. That I don't recall, but I know that I remember one that they wanted 6 foot or 8 foot side yard fence, and one gal wanted a 6 foot fence to run down the side of her yard right to the, and that was denied because down to 4 foot, because that's what the ordinance reads. But we're here just to decide, what the,
Well, yeah, I remember.
about the variance.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
you keep that in mind. My house been getting shot up a lot,
Right.
and I
Well,
put that for my own protection.
Okay.
'Cause it don't seem like the police care about what's going on at my house. They too busy worrying about what's in my house, and not try to protect me. I'm the victim,
Okay.
but they treat me like I'm the trimmer, and I don't like that.
Well, we're not here to decide anything like that. We're just working with the ordinance on it.
So you mean tell me the police didn't have nothing to do with this? Y'all bring this
As far
meeting
as
together?
I have no idea who.
I
I mean,
think they have.
according
They
to
come
this,
by and
the,
say, you guys need to take the fence
The housing, pardon?
The police coming all the time. Tell me you got to take your
Well,
fence down.
that part I don't know. We're not.
Well, you guys may not do it for harassment.
Yeah.
Police do it for harassment. I know they
Well,
do.
that- Okay, do you have any other comments?
No, but like if I had to take that fence down, that fence cost me money. Who gonna reimburse me for that if I take my fence down? Is the
That I
city
don't-
gonna put a lower one up for me? I don't have the money to put another fence up there. Now is that something the city want to do themselves? I mean, you complain about
That,
it, and
I
then you
guess,
put one up there.
this board isn't
That's not-
here to
yeah.
make that decision.
Well, you may want to run it by
That would
whoever
be-
in charge.
That would be the
I mean, I wouldn't lower the fence, but they should be
planning
willing
and
to put it up
zoning
for me.
or the building department would be the
Yeah, well, they
two
should be.
departments to discuss that with.
Typically, this is Western staff, typically in situations like this, we waive the filing fee, the $225 for the Board of Adjustment filing fee, due to there was a mistake in issuing the permit.
Well, I'm
But
saying
that's-
if I had to take that
But that's
fence-
about as far as we go, is just waive the filing fee.
Well, anyway, like I'm saying, if I need to take it down, they need to pay for another fence putting up.
That I understand. Thank you. Is there any other questions of staff or the owner of the property? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion on the request for a variance to a 6 foot rather than a 4 foot fence.
I'll make the motion. I move for denial of the variance request. Number one, because the request could have a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood, as most of the homes in the area do not have fences in their front yards, nor have fences in their front yard that are taller than 4 foot in height. There would not appear to be a valid uniqueness associated with this particular variance request, and the applicant would appear to have other options, such as building a 4 foot high fence that would meet the 4 foot height maximum front yard requirement for all our residential districts.
We have a motion to deny. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
We have a second. Okay, all those in favor of the motion to deny a 6-foot fence, and if desired, replace it with a 4-foot fence, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, your request has been denied to have a 6-foot fence. You can't have a 4-foot fence. And you'd have to get with the building department. Well, that's not our decision because we're a volunteer board. We have no power to work with it. I think the staff is here and they've heard that request and get with one of, planning and zoning or the building department and see what they
can do to help.
can do to help you.
That's a number, so I can call them.
What's your number? The
Yeah.
number?
Yeah, it's the planning and zoning department number 291-4366.
They located this building right there?
Yeah, right
Yeah,
down
right
there in
here
the hall
at
on
the
the
end of the
left-hand side.
Okay, we'll move on with our next item on our agenda. It's a request to convert an existing illegal sixplex to a duplex on a property zoned R3 multifamily residential district located at 428 Center Street, Waterloo. Staff report, please.
Dornoff with staff. This is a request to turn what is listed as a single-family residence into a duplex. The property in question is zoned R3 multiple family district and has been zoned as such since the zoning ordinance was implemented in 1969. Surrounding land uses, north and east are single-family residence, zone R3 multiple family district. And south and west, it's single-family residences and duplexes, zone R3 multiple family district. And Broadway, which is located a half block to the west, is zone C2 commercial, which is a mix of residences and commercial businesses. The area consists of residential buildings built between 1897 and 1941 along Center Street, with commercial buildings located along Broadway. The future land use map designates the area as low-density residential. The special permit request would not be in conflict with the future land use map and comprehensive plan for the area. The lot is currently zoned R3 multifamily residence district, which has requirements of 7,200 square feet of lot area, 70 feet lot width minimum, and 3,600 square feet of lot area per family. The applicant is requesting a variance to the following density requirements. Minimum lot width, 70 foot required. Property has 50 foot. Minimum lot area requirements, 7,200 square feet. The lot has 6,850 square feet. And minimum lot area per family, 3,600 square feet. The lot is 3,420 per family. The residence currently has no off-street parking, although the applicant notes residents can park in the back. The zoning ordinance requires a minimum of 2 parking stalls per residential unit. For 2 units, this would be a minimum of 4 parking spots. And in addition, the ordinance requires each stall to be 9 by 18 feet or 162 square feet, which is 648 square feet total for the 4 parking stalls, in addition to space to maneuver in and out of the stalls. Multifamily also requires that parking be properly surfaced and drained. The home was converted to a sixplex at some time in the past. We don't have any evidence when that occurred. The applicant originally requested a permit to legalize the sixplex. On November 1st, 2016, the Waterloo Planning and Zoning Department recommended denial of the special permit for a sixplex and recommend approval of a duplex. The applicants are willing to accept the conversion to a duplex. The staff would recommend the approval of the request for a special permit to allow for a conversion to a duplex and a variance to allow minimum lot width, minimum lot area per family, and minimum lot area to establish the duplex for the following reasons. The request would be in conformance with the comprehensive plan and future land use map for the area. The duplex would be keeping in with character with the neighborhood and with other duplexes nearby. The duplex would not appear to have a negative impact on vehicular traffic in the area. With the following conditions, the final site plan meets all applicable city codes, regulations, etc., including but not limited to parking, landscaping, drainage, etc., except as approved by the board, and applicants have 1 year from the date of action by the Board of Adjustments to meet the requirements.
Okay, does anyone have questions of staff on the board?
I have one question. Where's the... So what was the size of the parking lot around back of the home? It was...
Needed 648 square feet.
They need 648. But
That's what it says.
That's what would be required by the zoning code.
But what is it made available what the space is behind there for them to park at all?
There would be enough room for
4 vehicles.
to put that parking in there.
Is the applicant here?
Yeah.
Would you come to the podium and give us your name and address?
I'm Terry Fruitneck, 6527 Ranchero Road, Cedar Falls.
And ma'am, would you agree that there's enough space back there to park 4 vehicles?
Yes.
And you are okay with converting it to a duplex?
Yeah. Unless
sorry.
it ends up running into too much money, then they said I would be able to, could go with the single family.
Single family.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm in the process of getting estimates now to see what that's gonna run into, so.
Okay. Do you have any other comments you'd like to make? Does anyone else in the audience like to speak for or against the,
At the last meeting we went to, they did say that it didn't have to be the driveway or the parking. It needed to be hard surface. I don't remember what they
Right.
used exactly, but it doesn't have to be paved. It could be like all weather.
oh, yeah.
Right.
Not paved. Right. Are there any other questions? Okay, then I assume we're ready for a motion. Would anyone have a motion on this request for a variance?
I move that we grant the request for the special permit to allow the conversion to a duplex and for a variance to the minimum lot width, minimum lot area per family, and minimum lot area to allow for the establishment of a duplex for the following reason. The request would be in conformance with the comprehensive plan and future land use map for this area, and that a duplex would be in keeping with the character of the neighborhood as there are other duplexes nearby. The duplex would not appear to have a negative impact on vehicular traffic conditions in the area, with the following conditions: that the final site plan meet all applicable city codes, regulations, etc., including but not limited to parking, landscaping, drainage, etc., except as approved by the board. Applicants have 1 year from the date of action by the Board of Adjustment to meet the requirements.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Oh. I'll second if Sue didn't.
We have a third.
It didn't come out.
We have a third. Oh.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the special permit and the variance request. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. That is approved. So go ahead with the conversion. Our fourth item is a request by Doug Peterson for a variance to build a 10 foot by 13 foot carport, 2 foot 8 inches from the side property line, 2 inches short of the required 3 foot side yard setback for a detached accessory structure located at 619 Evergreen Avenue. I thought 2 or 3 inches was
I thought 4 inches.
just
8 inches from 12 is 4 inches.
About 3.
Foot.
It's actually, 2 foot 8 inches.
So it would be 4 inches short.
4 inches short of the required.
Oops. How'd that happen?
Chris. Not you, him.
Okay, staff report, please.
Okay, this is Western staff. The property is located along the east side of 600 block of Evergreen Avenue between Bismarck Avenue and Stratford Avenue. The property in question, as well as other surrounding properties, all those other surrounding properties are zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residence district and have been zoned as such since the adoption of the ordinance in 1969. The request would not appear to have a negative impact upon the surrounding area, as the majority of the lots in the area are 40 feet wide, 10 feet short of the minimum lot width required by the zoning ordinance adopted in 1969. The area was subdivided in the early to mid-1950s before the adoption of the ordinance. Therefore, there are many homes and detached garages that do not meet the minimum setback requirements. Therefore, this request would not appear to be out of character for the area. The majority of the homes in surrounding neighborhood have side yard setbacks less than 5 feet, and most of the existing garages have side yard setbacks less than 3 feet. Some appear to be on the property line. The applicant's house and garage, which was built in 1955, appear to be located up to or on the property line along the north edge of the property. There are many other examples throughout the entire subdivision with similar situations, including their property to the south at 621 Evergreen, whose house appears to be less than the minimum side yard setback of 5 feet in the R2, 1 and 2 family residence district. The applicant has an existing 24 by 22 or 528 square foot detached garage. The maximum size of detached accessory structure for this size of lot is 850 square feet. With the addition of the 10 by 13 or 130 square foot carport would bring the total accessory square foot to 658 square feet, 192 square feet less than the 850 allowed by the ordinance. The applicant has received a signed petition from the next door neighbor at 621 Evergreen Avenue stating that they do not object to the requested setback variance request. There have been instances where side yard setback variance requests in an R1 and R2, 1 and 2 family residence district have been approved, and were in areas with smaller lot sizes and higher density development, and many existing surrounding structures also did not meet the setback requirements as in this case with this request. Criteria: a lack of reasonable return. There would appear to be a lack of reasonable return as the lot at 40 feet is narrow, making it difficult to enjoy the same conveniences of newer subdivisions with lots that meet the minimum lot width of 50 feet and allow for larger garage space. Uniqueness: there would appear to be uniqueness to the request as the applicant's lot and surrounding lots are narrow and have many structures that do not meet the minimum side yard setback, and therefore the request would not look out of character being 4 inches short of the minimum 3 foot side yard setback requirement. Public considerations: there have not been any objections made by the surrounding property owners, and the applicant has submitted a petition in support of the request by the neighbor to the south, who would be the most impacted by the request. I do have to point out one thing. I did talk to code enforcement today, and the applicant is here, and he could maybe explain what's going on there. It sounded like there was an issue with the neighbor across the alley with his ability to pull the camper out and stay within the alley and not get onto their property. And I don't know if that's anything we need to consider for that, but just wanted to point that out. I just found that out today. Therefore, the request for a variance to the minimum side yard setback requirement of 3 feet in the R2, 1 and 2 family residence district to allow for the construction of a 10 by 13 carport 2 foot 8 inches from the side property line, 4 inches short of the required 3 foot side yard setback for a detached accessory structure at 619 Evergreen Avenue be approved for the following reasons. The request will not have a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood, as most of the homes in the area are on small lots and have many structures that do not meet the minimum setback requirements and would therefore not be out of character for the neighborhood. Also, staff has not received any calls of concern on the request from nearby neighbors, but has received a petition in favor of the request by adjacent property owner to the south. And And that is it. Any questions for staff? And the applicant Doug is here.
I do. You see, you did receive a petition because
Yeah, we got it after the fact. I think Patty made copies. I didn't bring that with me.
Is the owner here?
Yes, Doug.
Would you come to the microphone and give us your name and address, please, for the record?
My name's Doug Peterson, 619 Evergreen in Waterloo.
Okay, does anyone have questions of Doug? What about the neighbor with the motorhome or the?
Well, this guy moved in, I don't know, not very long ago, a couple months ago, and he's made enemies with everybody in the alley. I mean, there's people that don't even know him. He doesn't know them. I don't know what the guy's problem is, but he says I'm pulling into his driveway and pulling up on his grass when I move my camper, and I'm not. I've got plenty of room to turn it and back it in and get it out of there without any trouble. I don't know what. Like I said, there's people that tell me this guy just doesn't want to, make friends with anybody. I don't know what it is, but like I said, I don't want to get up in his grass. We've been here for 35 years in the same place. Never had a bit of problems with any of our neighbors, but this guy moves in and all of a sudden it's like.
But this is what, you're putting that camper that's in the picture in that carport.
Yeah,
That's just to cover it for the winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't want to pull up in his yard. I mean, I did landscaping for over 20 years, and that's the last thing I want to do is drive up in somebody's yard. The thing is, he's renting also. And so I'm trying to see, even if I did drive up on it and tear it up or something, it's not his grass, actually. I don't know.
Anyone have any questions? Any other questions?
How long is your camper, Mr. Peterson?
I believe it's 14 or 15 feet.
Okay, it looks like there's plenty of clearance
Yeah, it
from the
doesn't
alley
mean-
to the lot line. So I don't have a concern about that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's true.
could put a back of coaster wagon in.
Yeah, well, that's not what we're here to do.
No comment.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Mr. Peterson?
I do have one clarification as well from staff. I didn't, the carport, as the way it's built, isn't legal, but Doug has agreed to actually side 3 sides of the carport and then put vinyl siding on it so it'll match the garage and won't stand out and will be in compliance. Carports, as shown in the picture here, are not legal.
Yeah.
So by putting the siding on all 3 sides, he will be within compliance.
And then
Is
is
Go
this,
ahead.
you're probably asking the same question, Chris, as me. So this, is it anchored already?
Yes.
So we don't need to ask for that?
No, and also he did submit drawings and engineer drawings to the building department. Greg from the building department did review them and felt that it meets all of the minimum ratings as far as wind,
Okay.
snow loads, etc.
Okay, thank you.
My question was, do we need to include the siding into the motion?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So, Mr. Peterson, then you will have to follow the siding part of it.
Sure, not a problem.
I guess we're ready for a motion on the request for the variance.
I motion to approve the minimum side yard setback requirement of 3 feet in the R2 1 and 2 family resident district to allow for the construction of a 10-foot by 13-foot carport 2 feet 8 inches from the side property line, 4 inches short of the required 3-foot side yard setback for detached accessory structures at 619 Evergreen. For the following reasons, the request would not have a negative impact on the surrounding neighborhood, as most of the homes in the area are on small lots and have many structures that do not meet minimum setback requirements and would therefore not be out of character for the neighborhood, and that staff has not received any calls of concern regarding the request, and subject to vinyl siding being placed on 3 sides of the structure.
That matched the garage.
That match the garage.
I second.
We have a motion and we have a second from Chris. All those in favor of the variance signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. That passes. You have your variance. Now
Thank
you
you
gotta
very
go
much.
side.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Before the snow flies.
Yep, before the snow, we,
We didn't give him a time frame.
One quick discussion, and that is item December 27th then is our next meeting, our last one for the year. And at that meeting, we will choose a new chairman.
It's not gonna be me.
Not going to be me. And so, just so
We
everyone
can
knows that,
renominate you, Bob.
no, we.
he doesn't have to accept, though. I don't
2
think.
years is enough. I think
Oh,
this privilege should go
Amperson
on to
was like
someone else.
10 years he was
I
chair.
would entertain a motion.
You're doing
to,
such a good
adjourn.
job.
I entertain a motion that we talk about.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're done.